licensing level, where new and more creative licensing to allow us to make what is more convenient, to make what is better for our customers, better for use happen, and also from the producer level, and then from the user level. So we all need to work together. One of the things that probably most of you are aware of, in 2000, well, way back in late 90s, Sound Choice started filing lawsuits against people doing, ripped copies of CDGs and burned copies, etc. We've been through all sorts of iterations with various anti-piracy organizations, some with or without the help of other producers, and now we've been doing it really kind of full bore since about 2009. The slide you see up here it's not something I'm proud of, because we spent a lot of our time generating either revenue from filing lawsuits. We built our company, we built our eye teeth on quality music. Those of you who have played Sound Choice, you're singers and all, you probably know that, understand that. You're going begging, please come out with new stuff. Well, we're still in a situation where we don't think we can yet sell enough product, unless we can protect it, to recover our recording costs. So unfortunately, we're forced into filing lawsuits. And as you see from this slide, the orange represents settlements that we have created, and we give people legitimate music when we file a settlement. And the blue slide is sales that are generated by people going, hey, I want to do the right thing. So as you see, in areas where the orange is tallest, we've had the most settlements and given out product, the sales are the highest. So unfortunately, kind of our slogan is, lawsuits generate sales. That is not what we want to do. But unfortunately, that seems to be the most effective sales tool. Hey, you know what? You want to avoid getting sued? Then come to us. You'll see 0 orange. These are states where we have not filed any lawsuits. Does he sing?
Yes, actually he does.
Now it sounds like my voice. These are states where we have not filed lawsuits, yet we're generating a few sales. Now, it's not very high if you notice. There's a few here, down here, Pennsylvania, Colorado, etc., Texas. These are areas where we'd like to say we've got little enclaves of supporters. And, they got licensed, and they talked their buddies into it, or maybe they, went to the bar and said, hey, look, I'm legitimate, I'm certified, I'm this, and they're creating a little pressure themselves. So this is what we also need to have. We need to have some people working together internally from within. We can't do it all. Obviously, from the previous slide, you see it's way higher. When I'm filing lawsuits, my sales. Now, that could either be somebody ahead of the curve going, hey, they got my buddy, but they're not going to get me. I'm coming forward. I'm going to do the right thing. I'd much rather see this slide. Not a single bit of orange. Not a single lawsuit, but a lot of sales. Hey, what? When we go through all this, it's the lawyers that generate most of the money. I don't benefit from it, but I have to do it because without this, I cannot help you guys keep your shows. I'm presuming that in this room, probably most of you all have your discs. You've all been doing the right thing. You've all been pressurized by, hey, I'll do a show for $50. You know what? And we're trying to help you not have to do that. We do have some sales tools we call our Safe Harbor Literature. Come down the booth, we hand it out, it's on our website. The Safe Harbor Literature is geared toward educating the venues. The venues have a liability. And what we're doing now is because we have sued some pirate hosts in the area, and maybe they disappear, and the venue just hires the next pirate. So now it's like, okay, we need to get the venues more involved. Forget it, we're just going to file lawsuits against you, the venues. The precedence for filing venues for liability goes back to the early 1900s. It is well established. There is no problem from a legal standpoint with us filing against venues. But you know what? We'd like to educate them ahead of the curve, and we'd certainly like to have you guys educate your own venues to protect your backside. Look, Mr. Venue, I'm going to charge you $200 a night because I have music costs. If you get somebody in here who wants to do my gig for half that price or $50 in a beer tab, you might think you're saving money, but if you get sued on the back end at $15,000, $20,000, where'd that save you? All right? So that literature is available. The venue can participate for free. All they have to do is when they want to hire a karaoke host, just have that host submit his data, and we'll say, yeah, we think it's legitimate. Well, how many of you guys think if a guy with 100,000 songs on his hard drive comes and takes your show over, and the venue says, Well, you're doing 50 bucks and you're going to replace Bob over here? Okay, just fill this out, please. Guy goes, I'll get back to you. That guy's not going to show up again, is he? No. So, you guys can help yourself, first of all, educate your own bar owners. They do have liability. I mean, there's cases we have, you can download them, I can send you information where the venue's been sued. So start with protecting your own backside. A buck a track, you got Walmart, 80 cents a track. Somebody kind of knows a download, whatever. Even though downloads are not legal for use in a commercial setting. But somebody knows that the cost of a song is 80 cents, 50, something, right? Not 100,000 songs for 300 bucks. So when the guy says, oh, I didn't know, yeah, right. But anyway, we can help evolve them into the right solutions. And we'd like to see more of this blue go up with no orange. But in cases where it's just not happening, Digitrax and Sound Choice are together now in more and more places are be filing those lawsuits. So, you know, look for a nasty case near you. If someone wants to avoid that, I said, we have been trying to educate people. We advertise, we come to the shows, we do everything possible to avoid having to make that the solution. But if it's not happening, we welcome your either anonymous feedback, your input, whatever, to, you know, help us, help the people in your area not to take your gigs away, to help elevate the quality of the shows and everything. So this is a little bit, I'd like to say a little negative for the pirates. For you guys who are, you know, trying to put on a good show, trying to protect your backside, I'd like to say it's a positive because you know somebody's out there trying to watch out for you, trying to watch out for the unfair competition. And we are going to step up that scale of oranges until all we get are blues. So that's kind of my introduction. I said the good thing is we're seeing a little bit of uptake either with education or maybe it's fear of the blues. People getting signed up, getting licensed, doing the right thing before we have to do anything.
But that also goes with the proviso that the venue that you're producing, that you're doing your show in, is licensed with ASCAP, CSAC, and BMI. Okay, because if they're not, then that's a whole different illegal aspect.
Right. Most recently, I don't know how many years back, maybe the last 4 or 5 years, ASCAP and BMI have added a karaoke section to it. So now it's like, okay, do you have karaoke? And I can't remember what the add-on is. Again, it's some additional add-on. To me, they're double and triple dipping, but that's just my personal opinion.
Kurt, what I suggest is everybody just goes to ASCAP, just go download it, read it, so you know when you go to your venue, you know what the venue fee. It's not a public performance is in America. A public performance license is not on you; it's on a venue.
Right. And then you have Sound Choice. And you got current company Digitrax. So yeah. But anyway, if you would speak to the part about it working. I think we have another gentleman back there from Oregon. I think the first state up there was Oregon, and you saw where the blue was significantly higher than the orange.
Yes.
That's because we've shifted to going after the venues, and they don't get taxed. But what's happened is the venues go, you're not certified, you're not right, dude. You aren't getting a job here. So what we found as we go again and again in a certain area. The guys who just buy a hard drive from Craigslist, do it for beer in a tab, whatever, 50 bucks, they scurry and they disappear. The clubs who will only willing to pay 50 bucks, they quit doing karaoke. Then what happens is that the singers who were at these 2 or 3 places just closed down, they go to another show who's got a better following, a better show, more entertainment, and that drives more customers, which drives up the sales for the bar. And the bar goes, hey, you're doing great. Even though maybe it happened through serendipity or because of our lawsuits, you're now doing better. And that's one of our goals. There's oversaturation of the business, and there's people that they shouldn't be doing it because they have no skills. It's not their business. They're just doing it for a beer tab.
Well, and I'm the guy from Oregon that he mentioned, and actually I recently picked up 3 weeks ago a new gig in Eugene. Because the owner didn't want to get sued. The place had a pirate before it, and he'd seen several places get hit and get in trouble. And so he canned the guy, and because of that, I Like I'm on the web in a local search. He called me up and said, "Come work for me." And so I've picked up. That's the third job now that I picked up because of the suits in Oregon that have kept me going. So it works.
So I didn't mention the certification. You said, how do I do the media shifting and all? We have a certification program. If you have a bunch of discs, we're not telling you go out and buy new discs. We have our media shifting policy, which includes, notify us of your intent to make the media shift. We would actually do a certification. It could be online, could be one-on-one with a local auditor. And we verify that at that point in time, you own an original Sound Choice disc that contains a song for everyone that you've shifted to your hard drive. And that certifies. Now, there's still some issues as to whether or not the publishers allow that shift and all, but at least, royalties are paid one time. You make the shift, you maintain that one-to-one correspondence, and it should also be about, nowadays, with memory being cheap, those media shifts should be occurring at least 320 kilobits per second, the highest audio quality you can, and maintain that. So, although we'd like to generate new sales, our back catalog is great. If you have all those discs, then the certification program, you get posted on our website. You get a little banner, you get all the t-shirt, etc. And what that also does is it creates a little bit of uncertainty, a little fear with the pirates in the area. Like, what's that certified stuff mean? Oh, man, you're making me look bad. Well, that's the point. Make you look bad, right? So and that's a calling card. Like Bill said, I'm on the website. They went to the website looking, okay, Sound Choice. Oh, this certified guy. Let me give him a call because I don't want to get sued. So
there was the KIAA for a while, and you had one central agency that was doing the certifications for all the manufacturers. Are there any plans to have anything like that again? Because that would be so much more convenient for hosts if we could go through one certification instead of having multiple certifications with all a bunch of companies.
It was convenient for a little bit, but it was a little cumbersome, and basically a little difference in opinion how it all should be done. At the time, it was Chartbuster, which is no longer in existence, Stellar Records. Stellar's concept was, I think, to make everybody legit, and then we'll sue them later if they violate the terms and conditions of being legit. Well, I disagree with that working, so kind of let that go. With Chartbuster in disarray, and now Digitrax rising from the ashes of that, David, I think, will talk to what they're doing going forward. So in terms of, now, to let you know, all of those other product lines, which you may have bought discs for, those companies are all out of business. I think the only ones producing nowadays is All-Star, Karaoke, Audio Stream, Digitrax, and we're not even producing. So, to my knowledge, the licensed producers of karaoke music, significant to the commercial market, are All-Star and Digitrax. So, the old lines that you have, if you look at those discs, those of you who have them, and you can't see on there anything in regards to an address, the producer of it, anything in regards to what the publisher used to require, the claim about no copying, rebroadcast, etc., that will let you know whether that product was ever licensed with the publishers. So you are at risk, those of you who have all Backstage, Standing Ovation, Music Maestro, on and on and on. There's about 30 of them. So there's no one to certify that because those companies are all out of business. And they were never licensed to begin with. So there is some risk that you guys have with that product. As slim as it may be.
It may or may not be illegal. I guess my question is, if we're a DJ and we buy, a disc, how do we know what company paid the royalties or did it the right way? I mean, if we're buying in good judgment, we assume we're buying a legal product. How can we be held liable for something we're not have no control?
That's what we just said. If you're buying off the internet, you're buying the brands, etc. Those discs, and I can tell you, Standing Ovation, Backstage, New Tech, Music Maestro, on and on, you will not see any address, any contact. I mean, they were anonymous for a reason. So I can say, to the best of my knowledge and feedback from the publishers, they were never licensed. That's one reason why they're not around. What your all liability is, there is some small liability. I mean, there is some liability. What happens to it, you know, may be small. I'm not going to advise you to keep on playing them, but the practical effect may be nothing. A lot of music was really bad, so you know you'll have your I love, you know, my Music Maestro Elvis track, but if you have an I love my backstage whatever it is,
You're right.
man.
You got 15 minutes left.
Okay, let me finish, and I'm sorry, but any questions or answers?
You bet. If you folks don't know me, if you haven't read my card, I'm David Grimes. I'm the managing director for Piracy Recovery LLC, and that's more or less the enforcement arm, so to speak, of the copyrights that were formerly held by Chartbuster, currently are produced by Digitrax. Okay, so it covers all of those. I'm very approachable. The website that's on my card is a form right there on the website. If you need to contact me, it's the easiest way to get in touch with me. It sends the email directly to my phone, so, and I'll get right back with you as soon as I get that. I'd like to just for one brief moment, Kurt was talking earlier about something about how we all have to work together. And it is exactly right. It's not something that we can do top down. Okay, we have to have you guys helping us help you. Okay, so I would encourage you, if you see activity going on, you strongly suspect, or you know that these people are dirty, let us know. Okay, you may not see action the next week or even the next month, but eventually it will happen. Okay, and as Kurt's chart showed, it's a snowball effect. It gradually does bring about the right kind of behavior.